Welcome to 6 Space VMS T Initiation and Exposure course. Today we are initiating ourselves with the Pratham Ansh of Vishnu Puran. Vishnu Puran is the ancient wisdom textbook of 6 Space VMS T. Vishnu Puran Pratham Ansh. There are 6 Ansh, 6 parts, and today we are initiating our exposure to the ancient wisdom of 6 Space VMST with the Pratham Ansh. Let us open a new notebook. Let us caption it 6 Space VMST, and then let us put a date, and let us put that we are now from this point onwards or approaching the ancient wisdom. We are in the shelter of the Vishnu Puran ancient wisdom textbook, and we are beginning our initiations with the Pratham Ansh. Vishnu Puran and Pratham Ansh are the formulations. Vishnu is the formulation which gives us value, TCV value 25. Puran is the formulation which gives us value 21. Both Vishnu Puran give us value 46, and we know 46 has a reflection pair with minus 46, and also 46 has a reflection pair with 64. Therefore, from minus 46 to 64 is the range of expression of 11 steps, and these 11 steps are the steps of the transcendence ranges synthesis from order 4 to order minus 6. Therefore, these 11 steps, 11 synthesis ranges, which will be the chase of the self-referral domain of the Vishnu Puran. Therefore, Vishnu Puran as a formulation takes us to value 46, which has a reflection pair with minus 46, and 46 to 64. There are 11 steps, and these are 11 steps are of the values ranges minus 46, then minus 35, minus 24, minus 13, minus 2, 9, 20, 31, 42, 53, and 64. We know these are the synthesis values. It is of order minus 6, this is of order minus 5, order minus 4, order minus 3, order minus 2, and then it is of order minus 1, order 0, order 1, order 2, order 3, and order 4. These are the 11 steps long. These are 11 transcendental ranges. These are the transcendental carriers. These are 11 transcendental carriers which are carrying the transcendental values, transcendental domain along the Sthapatya miring rod. So Sthapatya miring rod from 1 space to 6 space as such carries the transcendence ranges, and the Vishnu Puran as a self-referral domain, as 6 space domain, is carrying as many as 11 transcendental carriers from minus 6 order to 4 order. So this is going to be the domain. We know the Pratham is a value 7, then 6, then 10. It is a value is 23. It is this value, and Ansh is going to be 13. It gives us value 36. It is equal to 6 square. As such, the Pratham Ansh of the Vishnu Puran is taking us to the format of 5x7 grid 6 value system. Double digit number 35 are accommodated and 36 point goes out, transcends out, and it is this 36 value which is the value of the Pratham Ansh. Therefore, the Vishnu Puran is the Puran which is a format of the transcendental domain being carried in as many as 11 transcendental carriers from -6 to 4 order, and further its first ansh is the ansh which is taking out value 36 as a 3-digit value coming out of 5 class 7 grid. Here we can have a pause and take a further note that the Devanagari alphabet is a scripture of 50 letters, but out of it Ganita Sutras are availing only 36. Ganita Sutras are availing 36 letters. This value 36 is the value which is parallel to the Pratham Ansh. Then now let us make another note. The note be that we have to follow the enlightenment path of transcendence as is preserved the Brahma way. Lord Brahma is a four-head Lord. Lord Brahma, a four-head Lord, meditates within cavity of his own heart, and with the grace of the transcendental Lordship, Lord Brahma multiplies as 10 Brahmas. It means that force space as a domain is reaching a creative boundary of 10 components of a transcendental domain. Therefore, it is the phase and stage of reaching from force space as a domain to the creative boundary of 10 components. Lord Brahma sits comfortably, meditates within cavity of one's own heart, where is the seat of a transcendental Lord, and with the transcendental grace of the transcendental Lord, Lord Brahma multiplies as 10 Brahmas, and there happens a transition and transformation for force space, creator space, going to the boundary of the transcendental domain, creating a creative boundary of 10 components. Now it is here a step ahead that when force space as domain goes to the second role, the role of a creative boundary of a transcendental domain. Now we see there are 10 components. These 10 components as 4 and 6. Now when this transcendental component strips off, it creates a dimensional order. So the space outside is manifested, is made, is created by the creative boundary with its strip off playing the role of force space as a dimension, and there happens to be a creation of a 6 space. Now the outside space gets dimensionalized as 6 space. Let us sit comfortably. Let us chase these steps sequentially. Let us make a specific note. Lord Brahma is a four-head Lord. Lord Brahma is the presiding deity of force space. Lord Brahma is Creator the Supreme. Lord Brahma sits comfortably and meditates within cavity of his own heart. Within the heart of Lord Brahma is the seat of a transcendental Lord. With the grace of transcendental Lord, Lord Brahma multiplies as 10 Brahmas. This amounts to transition and transformation for the role of force space as a domain to the role of a creative boundary. Now the creative boundary of 5 space as of 10 components. These 10 components get organized as 4 and 6. These 4 components as such make it a 4 square, so it makes a transition for dimensionalizing the outside space as a 6 space. There are 6 dimensions of order 4. So it dimensionalizes the outside space as of value 24. 6 dimensions of 4 space. Outer space gets dimensionalized. It is here where from we will be now beginning. Let us make another note. Now it is the third stage. It is a third note. First note has been about the Vishnu Puran and Prathamansh. Second note is being given with respect to the enlightenment path of Lord Brahma. How Lord Brahma sits comfortably and meditates within cavity of one's own heart and gets transformed as 10 Brahmas. Now the third stage is that the creative boundary of 4 space, when it strips off, it dimensionalizes the outside space as a 6 space. Therefore, the stage comes to be that now previously the 4 space was as domain. Then its role was 4 space as a boundary. Now the role is going to be 4 space as a dimension. Now it is this stage that we will be reaching at 4, 5, 6 and 7. It is hypercube 6. Therefore, it is the phase and stage of the creation of the outside space as hypercube 4. The outer space, the space outside the transcendental domain, is dimensionalized as a 6 space, and 4 space as a dimension creates hypercube 6. Therefore, it is this stage, phase and stage from where the Vishnu Puran wisdom takes off. The Vishnu Puran Prathamansh is a scripture of 22 chapters. Value 22 is the value which accepts organization as 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7. It is parallel to fourfold manifestation layer 4, 5, 6 and 7. It is of hypercube 6. As such, the first ansh, the pratham ansh of Vishnu Puran is the scripture which is taking us to hypercube 6. Therefore, it is hypercube 6. It is taking us to the 6 space VMS T. Of the 6 space VMS T, the first feature is going to be as of chapters 22. The value 22 is accepting organization as 4, 5, 6, 7, parallel to fourfold manifestation layer 4, 5, 6, 7. It is of hypercube 6. As such, hypercube 6 as a fourfold manifestation layer with 4 space playing the role of a dimension, 5 space as boundary, 6 space as domain, and 7 space as the origin. It is the format, it is the features, it is the value which is being availed, which is being worked out, which is being initiated, it is being exposed as the values and features of the Pratham Ansh of a Shiv Puran. As it is a 6 space domain, as it is hypercube 6, so it has 6 dimensions. Of these 6 dimensions, the first dimension is the Pratham Ansh. So here in the Pratham Ansh, in the first part, we are taking up 4 space as a dimension. Single dimension, 4 space as a dimension is the base of, is the flow format of the scripture Vishnu Puran in its first ansh. First ansh means the first dimension. First dimension means one creative dimension. One creative dimension would mean the creation of a hypercube 6. Therefore, hypercube 6 is the format of the Pratham Ansh. Pratham Ansh, as we have seen, is of the format of hypercube 6. Hypercube 6, we have seen, is a fourfold manifestation layer. This fourfold manifestation layer is of value 22. There are 22 chapters of the Pratham Ansh. As such, one shall sit comfortably and permit the transcending mind to glimpse through these features of the Vishnu Puran Prathamansh, the enlightenment of Lord Brahma, transition and transformation to a creative boundary, take off from the creative boundary, and the dimensionalization of the outspace space and as 6 space, and hypercube 6 being the representative regular body of a 6 space. This hypercube 6 as a fourfold manifestation layer is 4, 5, 6, 7, and this makes a value 22, and this value 22 is providing a format of 22 chapters of the Prathamansh. These 32 chapters are again taking us to shlokas. The first chapter of Prathamansh is of 31 shlokas, and the total shlokas of all the 22 are 1379. Let us have a pause here and let us revisit value 31. Value 31 firstly is the synthesis value of linear order transcendence range, a transcendental carrier of a linear order of value 31. It is this value which is this transcendental carrier which is flowing upon the range, and we know 3 space as dimension will be creating 6 space as an origin. As such, with this we will be having a reach in terms of a transcendence range of a linear order and reaching at 6 space as an origin. We know 5 space is having 6 space in the role of an origin. As such, the transcendence within 5 space domain as of 5 steps will be taking us to its origin of a 5 space, which is going to be the 6 space. And further we know that cube 3 space is having cube as its representative regular body. The cube is a setup of 31 structural components. These 31 structural components are 8 corner points, the 12 edges, 6 surfaces, 1 domain, 3 are the dimensions, and 1 is the origin. Therefore, this value 31 is the value which is the value of the synthesis value of pair of transcendence ranges of linear order. It is the first transcendental carrier carrying along the Sthapatya mirroring rod, and there would be a reach up till the origin, 6 space in the role of the origin. Further, it is means the cubes are being carried. Cube is of structural components 31. So linear order transcendental carrier carries cube, representative regular body of a 3 space. So representative regular body of 3 space is carried upon 6 space format along the Sthapatya mirroring rod, and we know the 6 space as a domain is accepting a Sthapatya mirroring rod. Therefore, it is that cube is being carried as a transcendental carrier of a linear order within a 6 space domain. So it is a transcendence. This transcendental domain is a translation path for the cube along the Sthapatya mirroring rod, and this way this is the exhaustive translation path within a 6 space domain. Further, we know that 7 space is playing the role of the origin, and total value is 22. So when from the origin this value is divided, it becomes the first approximation value of a pi. We know that it will be giving us a value 3.1 as such. However, the creative boundary being of a 10 components, and therefore when it is distributed it will taking us 0.31. One can have a pause here and take note that this value 31 number of shlokas of chapter 1 of the Prathamansh as such is of these values and features. One shall sit comfortably, permit the transcending mind to be face to face with this range of features and values of 31 shlokas range text of chapter 1 of the Prathamansh of a Vishnu Puran. With this, one will be face to face with as to how the 6 space VMS T is unfolding itself, how the ancient wisdom textbook of 6 space VMS T, Vishnu Puran, from its first ansh and first chapter of the first ansh itself, is taking us to these very long range of the values and the features. Therefore, the students of Vedic mathematics, science and technology of 6 space have to sit comfortably and have to follow the enlightenment path of the Lord Brahma, and sequentially one is to reach. Therefore, one shall provide a consciousness base for one's intelligence field. One shall melt the mental blocks of a linear order, spatial order, solid order, and one is to reach the creative order. Therefore, 4 space is to play the role of a dimension. Therefore, first one shall conceive what reality of the 4 space is. One is to melt the mental blocks of a linear order, spatial order and solid order. Once one is successful to melt these, and once one is taking 4 space in as a domain, 2 as a boundary, 2 as a dimension. Therefore, the 4 space itself is also to be chased for its role as a dimension. So 4 space as a dimension is going to be the feature, and there would be 22 chapters to a value 22, and the first value is 31. One may have a pause here and take note that total value is going to be 1, 3, 7 and 9. This value is the value of a Divya Ganga Prabha. We know the soul syllable Om with the Bindu Srovar is of value 9. Then there is a flow of 7 streams, and these 7 streams split into 3 streams for the eastern part and 3 for the western part, and then the central stream flows upward. This is the 4th stream. So it gives us 9, 7, 3 and 1. It is this value, and further we know this value 9, 7 and 3, 1 as such has a jump over at the middle over a value 5. It is this jump over the transcendental domain. Therefore, how the transcendental domain is being approached from its both ends as value 4 and as value 16. One can have a pause here and see 16 is equal to 4 square. It being 4 square, therefore we should know as to how the creative boundary of 10 components, as it is going to have a split into 4 and 6, and therefore 4 square is going to the value of these 4 components. It is this feature which is to be comprehended well. Therefore, from one end we are approaching with value 4, means 4 is to power 1, and the other end we have to approach value 4 is to 2. Further we know 4 is to 2 is also equal to 2 raised to power 4, and this is going to be the value of the dimensional frame of a creator's space, a 4 space. It is this domain, it is this dimensional frame of quadruple spatial dimension is the value. Further we know the transcendence is with the letter Shah, and its inverse is going to be of value 4. It is this transition, therefore the script and these features of the Devanagari script alphabet, letters and the numerals as well are to be taken account of. Therefore, this reach beginning with the transcendental range of a linear order, and then ultimately it is going to be a flow of a Divya Ganga Prabha. It is this reach, it is this end reach, it is this achievement, it is this format which is going to be the format of the Prathamansh. Therefore, one shall sit comfortably, one shall go through the text of the Prathamansh. Let us very slowly, very sequentially, very gently be through the text of the Ganitas of the Vishnu Puran and the first ansh of the chapters 1 to 22. And once we will be through, then we will be sequentially going through all these features. Today we are just initiating ourselves with respect to how the initiation is to be there, how the end reach value is going to be there. Then here we shall further see that the second ansh is of 16 chapters, third is of 18, fourth is of 24, fifth is of 28, last is 8. It gives us the values. First two give us the value 38, next two give us the value 42, next we get the value 46. We know 38 is equal to 2 into 19, this is equal to 2 into 21, it is 2 into 23. We know this 29, 21 and 23 together make the value 63, and further we know that this value 19, so this value 22 as such is the value of hypercube 6. However, 16 is the value which gives us 5, 6 and 5. It means it is a transcendence out of a 6 space from a 5 space domain. Then the value 38 gives us the value of a southern hemisphere synthesizing with itself, and ultimately the Ashtaprakriti, which is of value 6 and 6. These values as such will further give us insight that value 29 is the value of Dhruv, the pole star, and this gives us value 17 into 17 to 19, and this is the value of a Atma. It is of a soul. Thereafter 1991 gives 21, when we know it is Pur, it is of the east, and then 21 gives us 23, which is the value of a Devi, and then further a step 23 and 23 gives a value 25, which is value of a Prithvi as well as of a Vishnu. Therefore, all these features deserves to be comprehended well before one is going through the text of the Vishnu Puran. So the text of Vishnu Puran is a Vedic mathematics textbook. It is a textbook which makes mathematics as a speaking language. The words, each and every word of this text is a mathematical formulation. These are geometrical formulations. These geometrical formulations as such deserves to be comprehended well as to what are the transcendental code values and how these transcendental code values ultimately synthesize and give us the further mathematics. Therefore, all these formulations deserve to see. Here it would be blissful to take note that Prakash, the light, is 13, Tej is going to be 15, and Dravya is equal to 17. That means the matter, Dravya, the content as such, is a situation of synthetic setup of a sunlight. How the sunlight is synthesizing, taking us to Tej as a 15 as a domain. Then as further stage, it is going to be 17 in Dravya. How the content is formed, how the content is being synthesized in our solar universe through the flow of a black matter within the rays of the sun. How the rays of the sun as such make a prakash, a light. How this light, this fluorescence content flowing along the black matter within the rays is going to be this basis of synthesis at the first stage, taking us to Tej, and at the next stage taking us to Dravya, the content. So all these features and values deserves to be seen and to be imbibed well, and it is with this imbibing, with this background, with this insight that we will be in a position to have a proper appreciation, proper comprehension, proper imbibing of these values and features of the text. Now let us have a fresh note that Lord Vishnu, from the navel of the Lord Vishnu, is Lord Brahma's creation. Lord Brahma is sustained from the navel of the Lord Vishnu. Lord Brahma, we know, is a four-headed Lord. Lord Vishnu is a six-headed Lord. And Lakshmi is the five-space transcendental boundary. And Sheshnas is going to be the ultimate sport. Now, it is this ultimate sport, it is this feature which deserves to be comprehended well to have an appreciation how the first ansh as 4, 5, 6 and 7, making it a value 22, is going to be the value which is to be formatted. It is this organization format feature, it is this depiction with which we have to be face to face, and we have to observe and preserve this depiction in our mind. let it be imprinted in our mind very well. With this imprint, with this comprehension, with this insight, with this imbibing in our intelligence field, we may be in a position to have a further transcendence there too. We know that this phenomenon is a self-referral domain phenomenon which is accepting a transcendental base. It is a transcendental base means a base of a Lord Shiva. A Lord Shiva is the transcendental Lord. Within the cavity of heart of Lord Shiva is the seat of a transcendental Lord. And within the cavity of heart of Lord Vishnu is the seat of a transcendental Lord. It is this phenomenon, it is this feature which deserves to be comprehended well. We should know that 5 is equal to 2 plus 3. Further, we know that 6 is equal to 2 into 3. How is it that this addition and multiplication operations go undistinguishably superimposed and there happens to be union? It is happening because of all this creation is within a creator space with value 4, which accepts value 2 plus 2 equal to 2 multiplied by 2 equal to minus 2 multiplied by minus 2, and it is this superimposition of the addition and multiplication operation and further of the orientations as well. So the orientations as well get absorbed and the multiplication and addition operations get superimposed, and still further we know that it gives us 4 is a 2 3. That means the vertical reflection pairing as well comes into play, and it is because of it that 8 is equal to 2 raised to power 3 and 9 is equal to 3 raised to power 2. It is here where this feature as well is simultaneously absorbed in this phenomenon. All these features and values of this organization format of the self-referral domain of the Vishnu Puran deserves to be seen. Further, one shall make a note that Lord Vishnu is having a seat over a water, which is a second element. That means it is at the transcendence, it is at the dimension of dimension level. Therefore, at the dimension of dimension level is the seat and expression and manifestation, and it means going to be a Chaturabhuj. Means we are having two space in the role of a dimension. It gives us a value a square is to 4a raised to power 1. It is this thing which is easy to comprehend by the human beings. We the human beings are equipped with a pair of eyes in each head, and further we are having a single head, while the creation is of a quadruple. There are 4 heads Lord with a pair of eyes in each head. However, we are having only one head. As such, we will be approaching square as a setup of a quadruple squares. So we will be working only in 1/4 square. So it is this feature which also is to be absorbed. Once one is successful to absorb this, then from here one can reach, as it is going to be spatial order. So here the 5-head Lord is at transcendence level, will be taking us 5 to 3 to 1. Therefore, it is going to be a Lord with a pair of hands only, and it is going to be a raised to power 1 is to 2 b raised to power 0. It is here where we have to reach. We have to have a synthetic setup. We should have a continuum comprehension, and this comprehension is to be taken, is going to be at dimension of a dimension level. This whole phenomenon, this entire setup, this entire format, this mathematics and this technology is the technology of a creator's space, a fourth space. Fourth space means a 4 heads. Each head is having a pair of eyes. Lord sits upon the lotus seat of 8 petals, and within the cavity of heart is the Lord Shiv. Therefore, this 8 petals means there is a cube which splits into 8 subcubes. It is a split of a 3 space into 8 octants. So it is 2, 3, 4 and 5. It is the format of the hypercube 4. Therefore, the idol of Lord Brahma as a 4-head Lord with a pair of eyes in each head, and Lord sitting on the lotus seat of 8 petals, and within the cavity of heart is a seat of a transcendental Lord. These features are the features of hypercube 4. Therefore, we have to work out, we have to chase 6 space VMS T along 4 space, means along hypercube 4. Therefore hypercube 4 means the Lord Brahma, and with it we see these all features are ultimately taking us to, and then we reach Lord Skand, means within the cavity of heart of Lord Shiv is a self-referral Lord, and we know Skanda, the six-headed Lord, is the son of the Lord Shiva, the transcendental Lord. Therefore, well, we shall make a specific note, sequential note. We shall chase sequentially, as in this here at 1 Vishnu Puran to Prathamansh, then the number 2 as enlightenment of Lord Brahma. Then we are going to reach at hypercube 6, as we know that it is taking us to the first ansh, means going to be going hypercube 6, and it has 22 chapters, and first chapter is of 31 shlokas arranged, and total chapters of 1379. From here we should have again pause and see how all the 6 ends are there, how these are coordinated diamond wise, and how ultimately they are taking us to the light stage. Then it is going to be a Dravya, and we know from light stage and Dravya we will be ultimately reading as a Jyoti, and from Jyoti we know we will be reading as a Brahm. So it is this reach which is the sequential steps reach of the 6 space VMS T. The depiction of these features and values are as this first picture of a Lord Vishnu having a seat upon a Sheshnav, and from the level is the flow of the Creator, and at the periphery is the goddess Lakshmi. Then we know within the cavity of heart of Lord Vishnu is the seat of Transcendental Lord, and within the cavity of heart of the Transcendental Lord is the seat of a self-referral Lord. It is this cyclic order, it is this superimposition of addition and multiplication, as well as the superimposition of the orientations, is because of the spatial order of the Creator space, a 4 space with hypercube 4 as its representative regular body, and Lord Brahma being the presiding deity. And we know that Skanda is 6-headed Lord, a son of the Transcendental Lord. This takes us to ultimately to a Sthapatyamay ring rod. It is a synthetic setup of hypercubes 1 to 6. So interval, square, cube, and 4, 5, 6 hypercubes with in the ratio of a raised to power n is to 2n, b raised to power n, and domain boundary ratios will help us reach at the different features, how these sequentially unfold themselves. Therefore, we know we have to reach at these formulations. Shiv is of TC value 12 and Sada Shiv is of value 24, and we know hypercube 12 is of 25 versions, and it gives a domain as dimension 14, and hypercube 14 is of transcendental values 29. 22 is 2 raised to power 5. When the 5th dimension is added to these already quadruple dimensions, spatial dimensions, it will take us to this, and it is the frequency of the choices from the range 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 for having reached at value 6 to 7. Now it is a Shri Bhagavan watch. These are the versions, 37 versions of hypercube 18, and 18 itself is a value of hypercube 5. These formulations will also help us see how this range of things are interconnected, and how this mathematics, these sciences, these technologies as such are integrated technologies, and these are unifying the existence phenomenon of our solar universe. These values are the values of the 6 space VMS T, which we as sadhakas and students have to reach at. We have to imbibe these. For it, we have to begin with a Devanagari alphabet. Devanagari alphabet is the alphabet of 50 letters, and it accepts a TCB values which total come to be 310. We have seen yesterday how these values 310 with a base Vyavastha as 27 takes us to 23 value, which is the total value, total transcendental value flow, which ultimately sums up the letters, total letters of the 16 Ganita Sutras. And these 16 Ganita Sutras as such are accepting for first two, first 3 and 16, taking us to the total letters 519 of the sutras and upsutras. Further, it would be blissful to take note that we know that Devanagari alphabet is being availed for organization of the grammar and all other Vedangas, Samhitas, and reach at the complete Vedic composed literature. And for it, the base is the Maheshwara Sutras. And these Maheshwara Sutras we have seen yesterday, how these are ultimately taking us to the total value 283, which is the value of the total letters of the 16 sutras, and this is the value of the total transcendental flow along the format of a Devanagari alphabet. As such, the students of Vedic Mathematics, Science and Technology of 6th space shall sit comfortably and to permit the transcending mind to go the enlightened way of the Lord Brahma. Once we will be going the enlightened way of transcendental meditation of Lord Brahma, then we will be seeing that there would be bestowed a transcendental grace. This bestowing of a transcendental grace upon the sadhakas would mean that there is going to be a transcendental grace for the existence phenomenon within a Purusha. Therefore, it is this transcendental grace for which we all the sadhakas aspire for. It is with this aspiring, it is with this surge, and it is with this bestowing of the transcendental grace upon us that our intelligence field will ultimately acquire a consciousness base. Once our intelligence field acquires a consciousness base, then the linear, spatial, solid, and even creative order mental breaks would melt. It is with the melting of the linear, spatial, solid, and creative orders that we will be having a transcendental setup for our intelligence. So intelligence of the transcendental order is the essential base. It is with this base that we can reapproach, we can revisit the Vishnu Puran. The ancient wisdom textbook of 6th space VMS T deserves to be approached with the transcendental order of the intelligence. Therefore, it is a prerequisite and it is the final endpoint reach as well, that sadhakas shall go the enlightenment path of the Lord Brahma, Creator the Supreme, and then acquire a consciousness base for the intelligence. With it, there will happen a transcendental order for the intelligence. Once there is a transcendental order for the intelligence, then we can approach a Vishnu Puran, and this Vishnu Puran will sequentially unfold as 6 ansh, and with it the first ansh, as we have seen, is going to be of value 22, and it will be taking us to shlokas 31 and end reach to 1379, and this sequential will take us to how the transcendental Lord is having a seat within the cavity of heart of the self-referral domain Lord Vishnu, and how the transcendental Lord himself is having a seat for the self-referral Lord Vishnu with the cavity of his own heart. And it is this phenomenon, it is this mathematics, it is this science, it is this base that we have to chase. Therefore, we shall begin afresh with the Devanagari alphabet, and then let us organize these things with the Maheshwara Sutras, reach at the Ganita Sutras, and thereafter have again fresh visit to our intelligence field, have a fresh evaluation of our transcendental grace, and let us start afresh with 6th space VMST. It is this initiation and it is this exposure which will take us a long way. Thank you very much.